Welcome into a live look of Casey Field here in Covington, Virginia, where tonight the Covington Lumberjacks take on the Harrisonburg Turks. Harrisonburg enters this ball game with a record of 8-10. Your Lumberjacks are 5-14. We're about 6 minutes away from first pitch. We'll take a break, and when we return, we'll have starting lineups for your Lumberjacks and the visiting Harrisonburg Turks. Welcome into Casey Field, where we're moments away from first pitch for your Covington Lumberjacks. They take on the Harrisonburg Turks. Harrisonburg at 8-10, Covington at 5-14. We'll take a look at the starting lineup for the Harrisonburg Turks. Leading off from the University of Miami, it's the left-handed batter, Bennett Gary. Batting second, he started off at Pitt. He's now playing his college ball at Florida Southwestern State. It's Andy Perez. Batting third, he had a monster game last time these two teams squared off. At first base from Flagler, it's Elijah Gulliams. Batting fourth, he has 6 home runs on the season. 4 of them have come against the Covington Lumberjacks. It's Brody Dalton. Batting fifth behind the dish tonight, utility man Connor Spellman. Batting sixth from the University of Rochester in right field, it's Ben Garber. Batting seventh, right-handed batter Philip Garcia. Batting eighth, another player from the University of Miami, it's Mason Greenhouse. And batting ninth from Shepherd, At shortstop, it's Andrew O'Brien. They'll take on the starter for your Lumberjacks, Lucas Rodriguez. Rodriguez on the season has gone 16 2/3. He's allowed 14 hits, 11 runs, 10 of them earned. He's 2-1 with a 5.40 ERA. Lucas still currently undecided on where he'll play his college ball next year. He's played at high level, the University of New Orleans, and he definitely has the stuff to return to that level of baseball. Pitching tonight to the catcher, Cross Yarborough. Cross, incredible offensive stats, but he adds a pretty impressive defensive resume to his stat line as well. Yarborough will throw down at second base, which means Bennett Gary will come into the plate and will be underway right on time at 6:30 unless we have any extra delay. Bennett Gary to take on Lucas Rodriguez. Harrisonburg trying to keep a hot streak going against these Lumberjacks. They're 3-0 on the season. 2 close games and one 15-2 win here at Casey Field. The last time these two teams played, a walk-off home run at JMU for the Turks. First pitch from Rodriguez. In for strike one, and we're underway at 6:30. Right on time, and a lovely day here at Casey Field as Rodriguez comes set. Pitch number 2 from the windup is a changeup, and it's 0-2 to Bennett Gary. Gary, an impressive on-base percentage at .490. He's only struck out one time. Rodriguez looking to change that here. He won't do that as this one's tapped up the middle. Frankie Clark ranging to his left. Throw on the run is picked by Thomas Fratto. 3 pitches and 1 out for Lucas Rodriguez as Frankie Clark and Thomas Fratto combine for an impressive defensive play. Change of pace here for the Lumberjacks. Last time they were at home, it took a few extra minutes to get going. Today it's a different story, a 6:30 start time. Andy Perez, the second batter of the ball game for the visiting Harrisonburg Turks. Rodriguez looking to keep the quick pace going. His first pitch to Perez is in there for strike one. 88 miles per hour catching the outer edge. Last time Covington was here at home, it was a victory over the Charlottesville Tom Sox. 0-1 pitch to Perez is a off-speed, tapped out to Clark. He collects at his chest, makes the throw to first. 2 outs and 5 pitches for Rodriguez. Elijah Gulliam's now the batter for the Turks, and it's the 3 and 4 batters that if Rodriguez can make sure that they don't do damage against him, he'll be looking to do what he did last time out, which was 5 innings of 1-run baseball. First pitch to Gulliams is a changeup that catches the inner edge. So far, 7 pitches for Rodriguez, all of them strikes. Let's see if he continues to try to pepper the strike zone. The 1 pitch is out in front on the swing from Gulliams. He ended up flinging the bat towards himself, and it's 0-2. Working that changeup incredibly well right now is Rodriguez, and due to that, he has anything to his disposal. I imagine this is a situation that calls for a high fastball, although Gulliams has looked fooled on both changeups. Rodriguez readies his front foot. From the windup he goes. This one's launched into right field. Giving chase is Darius Brown, looking up at the warning track at the wall, and it's gone. Hit into right field by Gulliams. It ends up in the laser tag part of the ballpark for tonight. It's Elijah Gulliams' first home run of the season. Rodriguez had thrown 8 pitches, all of them strikes. That would have been a strike as well, but Gulliams does damage. After 2 groundouts to Frankie Clark, Harrisonburg is on the board as the first baseman from Flagler hits a solo shot to right field. Didn't see the velocity on that, but I imagine it might have been another changeup that this time Gulliams was on. Rodriguez going to look to bounce back here against Brody Dalton, who swings at the first pitch. It's going to be fouled towards the third base dugout where Mason Reed will look up and let it go out. Brody Dalton is the man that you'd imagine would be the home run hitter in today's ball game if there was a home run hit. Harrisonburg hits for average on the team. They're in the middle of the way slugging-wise, a .269 average as a team and a .355 slug. Brody Dalton has a .638 slug entering this ball game. He bats in an 0-1 count, where Rodriguez misses high his first ball of the ball game. It was his 11th pitch. Brody Dalton ready's in the batter's box as Rodriguez comes set. Here he comes from the windup. The 1-1 pitch is flown straight up, foul. Third base side, cross Yarborough. Nope, nobody there. Yarborough looked like he might have had a read on it, and then Mason Reed came sliding in. It hit him, but not in the glove. Keep tally, as that's now 4 infield fly balls combined from the past 2 ball games that Covington has been unable to field cleanly. It was 5 runs against Purcellville. Of course, only 1 of them unearned, but 5 total from the Cannons. 4 against the Cannons that came around to score on infield pop-ups. 1-2 pitch to Dalton is a slider. Did he go? Yes, he did. Lucas Rodriguez strikes out his first batter of the ball game to end the top of the first inning. But Elijah Gulliam strikes first with a solo shot. Harrisonburg 1, Covington nothing. Take a look at the lineup for your Covington Lumberjacks as they take on Carter Lenz from the University of South Florida. Leading off for your Lumberjacks from Western Oklahoma State College, he's been red hot. It's Frankie Clark batting second. A fan favorite here in Covington in center field, it's Chris Carroll batting third. Batting a team-high .378, it's Cross Yarborough. Batting fourth in right field from Maryland Eastern Shore, it's Darius Brown. Batting fifth, they call him Woody on the team. He's got massive power. It's Zach Dorlag. Batting sixth from Ole Miss, playing in his second game in a Lumberjacks uniform. It's Calvin Pereira. Batting seventh from Reading, Massachusetts, it's Thomas Fratto. Batting eighth, as the first pitch from Lenz to Frankie Clark is up. Batting eighth, another man that has to travel a long ways for his summer ball from California, it's Mason Reedon. Running out the lineup from Lynn University at shortstop, it's Brian Zayas. Frankie Clark looking at a 1-0 fastball that misses up from Lenz. The count's quickly 2-0. Carter Lenz, an interesting starter today for the Turks on the season. He's made 2 appearances. He's gone 1 in the third inning, surrendering 2 runs. His 2-0 pitch to Clark misses up and in, and it's 3-0. Frankie Clark has been finding hits at a frequent pace. Had 3 of them yesterday against Purcellville. His on-base percentage is up to .463. If he takes 1 more ball, it'll go up even more. Lenz's 3-0 is a fastball that catches the outer edge. Lenz has 2 appearances on the season. Last time he pitched was on June 17th against Charlottesville. He went a third of an inning, gave up 2 hits and 2 runs. 3-1 pitch to Frankie Clark. Similar spot, and it's a full count. Linz missed up with his first 3 pitches. Now an opportunity for the freshman from USF. Linz's payoff pitch is fouled out of play towards the Covington bullpen. No off speed so far from Carter. As his payoff pitch is again poked right field side, but foul. Linz has the lowest number on this Harrisonburg team at number 3. Sometimes you see squads like Covington that have guys like 1 and 2, but this Harrisonburg squad has some high numbers. Full count pitch to Clark. Grounded third base side. Charging in is Garcia. Throw on the run is not picked by Brody Dalton. And Frankie Clark has himself a leadoff single. When you're going, you're going. And Frankie Clark just has that mojo to him right now. A leadoff single. And an important one as Harrisonburg struck first in the top of the first inning. So with a 1-0 deficit, Chris Carroll will bat with Frankie Clark at first base. And that's good speed over there at first. Covington, of course, leading the VBL in stolen bases with 81. Clark on the season has 8. Good speed in the batter's box. Although, funny enough, Chris Carroll is hit into one of 6 double plays that the Lumberjacks have found themselves grounding out. Garcia's in on the corner as they're looking to prevent a bunt from Carroll, who looks at the first pitch from Linz for strike 1. And Linz has been in the zone. It's been that low and away edge. Got to be extra careful not to be too pull heavy on that pitch and look to flail that one into right field. Clark, a decent lead off of first base as Linz readies for an 0-1 pitch. That's flown into right center field. This one has a lot of elevation on it. Giving chase is Garber. He makes the play. A solid swing from Chris Carroll, but it didn't have enough juice. And that's out number 1 for Carter Linz. Now with Carroll flying out and 1 out already on the board, I wouldn't be surprised if Frankie Clark's set in motion. Connor Spellman, who's behind the dish today for the Harrisonburg Turks, was a defensive replacement in the game that was played at JMU between these two teams. In that game, late in the ball game, Spellman had thrown out a runner, but he had also allowed 3 stolen bases. First pitch to Yarbrough, he's out in front of, swing and a miss, and it's 0-1. As teams become more familiar with the play style of the Lumberjacks, the stolen bases have gone down a tad. Linz readies for an 0-1, a slide step that he misses away, and there's the reason that Frankie Clark's been uninterested in stealing so far. Linz is making sure to be quick to the plate. On the season, Spellman has allowed 13 stolen bases. He's thrown out 3 runners. His fellow catcher hits in batter's box here. Linz is 1-1. High leg kick this time from the stretch that he misses up and in. Harrisonburg might have struck first, but right now it's Linz who's throwing more pitches than Rodriguez. Rodriguez, an incredibly efficient first inning. It was just a 2-strike home run from Gulliams that gave Harrisonburg the lead. Linz 2-1 is a swing and a miss from Yarborough. It's 2-2. Listening to guys in the dugout, there's a lot of different types of fastballs that you could see. Last night against Percival, their bullpen arm came out throwing 95-96, but in baseball terms, it was flat, so it was kind of a straight arrow into the strike zone. Linz right now, he's got some cutting action, and Yarborough unable to stay on plane for that. Linz looking for the strikeout. His 2-2 is fouled back into the netting. We'll stay right there. Right there, good job by Yarborough to stay in the zone long enough to keep the end of the bat on the baseball. He needs to hunt for something middle to right field here. Clark has stayed put at first base. As Linz readies, he fires, and this one's going to be poked foul out of play down the right side. We'll stay 2-2. Yarborough The last time these two teams faced off, had an incredible ball game. He was 3 for 4 with 3 doubles. If he does that today, the change of motive will be to be scoring Yarborough from second, as he didn't score in that ball game. Linz readies and fires. Here comes his 2-strike pitch. It's way away, and we have a full count. Second for Linz so far. It was a full count single for Frankie Clark. To start off the Lumberjacks, he is at first base, and now with a full count, you wonder if he thinks about going. Spellman has a solid arm behind the plate. Mentioned he's thrown out 3 runners this season. Clark even with the cutout. As Linz comes to the plate, and it's fouled off again. Here the Covington dugout. Liking what Yarborough's been able to do in this AB, staying alive. Linz looking for another payoff pitch. Yarborough not very familiar with walks. He's only walked 2 times, but he's added 4 doubles, so you take the slug over the walks. Clark takes off as this one misses up in the zone, and a walk for Cross Yarborough, only his 3rd of the season. For somebody that doesn't walk, Yarborough finds himself in deep ABs like this often, and right there it pays off as this time he earns the walk. Most of the time he finds contact eventually in ABs that go past the 8-7 pitch mark. But a big walk there. It's now 1st and 2nd for Darius Brown. Brown had a rough one playing in Harrisonburg. He was 1 for 5 with 3 strikeouts, but as of late he's had some pretty potent swings. Linz still from the stretch. Kicks and fires. Grounded through the 5-6 hole. Frankie Clark getting waved around. Bennett Gary up and throwing. It's going to go to the cutoff, and it's 1-1 here in Covington. Darius Brown delivers, and the situation stays the same. Instead of Darius Brown hitting, it's now Zach Dorlag. And of course, now the game is tied. Dorlag 3 for 20 on the season. He's got some pop in that bat. He has a home run, and if you ever see this man take BP, be aware. Cars are not safe even behind the grandstand in center field. Oh, pitch to Dorlag, misses low. Linz already up to 20 pitches. No movement so far in the Harrisonburg bullpen, but with Linz only going 1 1/3 so far this season, he's got to acclimate himself quickly to the starting role. His 1-0 as Cross Yarborough takes off for third base. Spellman's throw is not in time. A stolen base for Cross Yarborough. And behind that, Darius Brown takes second. Time called on the field as maybe Yarborough got Garcia a bit with the slide. Looks like that's resolved pretty quickly. So for Cross Yarborough, his 6th stolen base of the season. Running with intelligence on the base paths. He's not been thrown out yet. And that was simply reading how Linz was on the mound. Now 2nd and 3rd for Dorlag, who faces a 2-0. That's in there for strike 1. Fastball that catches the inner edge. Dorlag, I'm sure, is hoping that Linz stays on that inner quadrant. His fastballs look pretty good when it's to the outer edge. But the pitch that Brown singled on was one that hung over the plate. Here comes Linz with the 2-1. Taken for strike 2. Dorlag now having to battle. Still getting accustomed to the Valley Baseball League standard. It's a tough schedule to play in. He had an off day yesterday. He faces a 2-2 count. Linz to the plate. An off speed that misses away. And I'm sure that now Dorlag is telling himself one thing. Really read that fastball, as Linz hasn't had a good off speed yet. 3rd full count of the inning for the freshman starter from USF. High kick and a pitch that misses low. Bases loaded for the Lumberjacks. team Covington hasn't hit too hot so far this season, as they're 11th in batting average. But it's a very big contrast between the batting average and the on-base percentage. The on-base percentage is still 10th in the league, but a .368 on-base percentage isn't bad at all. Kelvin Pereira from Ole Miss now bats with the bases loaded. Lins from the stretch. This is up and in, and it's 1-0. Lins has walked two of the batters that are on base. Darius Brown, who's at second, walked. Pereira made his Jacks debut yesterday against Purcellville. He was 0 for 5 with 2 strikeouts. Looking to get on the board in a couple of ways. Lins, 1-0, is again up. Still no movement in the Harrisonburg bullpen, but time taken as Lins is going to get talked to. Harrisonburg has had their way so far this season against Covington. But the Lumberjacks have an opportunity to quickly turn that momentum around, especially for a Harrisonburg team who's had a really rough go of things in the past 24 hours. Yesterday they got ran rule, a 10-0 loss against Charlottesville. And it was 10-0 Charlottesville early on. The game just kind of died out after Charlottesville put up the 10 runs, and for a Harrisonburg team that has some of the best hitting stats in the league, they were silenced. I'm sure that Lucas Rodriguez in the Covington dugout would love a couple more runs. We're knotted up at 1 apiece, but now Kelvin Pereira gets a 2-0 pitch that he takes for strike 1. Good spot there from Lins as he catches the inner edge. Traffic on the bases. Cross Yarborough at third, Darius Brown at second, Zach Dorlag at first. Great speed at second base. As here comes the 2-1. A called strike that Pereira doesn't like very much. It seemed to miss a little bit away, and that'll even up the count. For Pereira, a big AB. As through his first 5 ABs, he doesn't have a hit. I'd love to see him launch, and I'm sure the Covington fans would as well. Here comes the 2-2 pitch. A swing and a miss underneath the bat of Kelvin Pereira. And now 2 outs for Thomas Fratto. Fratto against Harrisonburg was 0 for 3 with a walk and a strikeout. On the season, he's 2 for 24, but one of those 2 hits a home run. Pitch to Fratto was taken upstairs. And as much as I want to hypothesize about what a grand slam would do for the Lumberjacks, I don't know if that's really in play, as Lins has either been hitting the edges or missing pretty wildly. 1-0 pitch to Fratto. Off the end of the bat and foul. 1-1. For Fratto, it's simply been about timing. First baseman from Eckerd. He's had a rough go of things, but he has been able to reach base. That's how it's been for this Lumberjacks lineup. A couple of guys have not been hitting the ball, but they've been making it to first. Lins' 1-1 is in the dirt. Good job by Spellman behind the dish to keep it in front of him. Cross Yarborough at third. Darius Brown at second. Dorlag at first. Fratto keeps this inning alive, it'll mean that Covington would have taken at least a 2-1 lead. It's 1-1 here in the bottom of the first as Lins comes with a 2-1. That's flown into center field. It's off the end of the bat. Greenhouse takes a few steps back, now in, and he makes the catch. Covington manages to tie this ball game up, but they also strand 3. We head to the top of the second. 1-1 the score. Last time out for Lucas Rodriguez, it was 5 innings of 1-run baseball, 5 strikeouts, 1 walk against the Culpeper Cavaliers. Covington won that game 8-4. He looks to keep it up here against the Turks, who struck first in the top of the first inning. Luckily for Rodriguez, the Lumberjacks' bats had his back. It'll be Connor Spellman, Ben Garber, and Philip Garcia for the top of the second inning. Quickly take a look at the defense for your Lumberjacks. In left field, it's Zach Dorlag. In center, Chris Carolyn. And right, it's Darius Brown. And for the infield, Mason Reed. At third, Brian Zayas at short. Frankie Clark at second. Thomas Fratto at first. First pitch swinging is Connor Spellman. He flies one into right field where Darius Brown is there. A 1-pitch out to kick off the top of the second inning. Behind the plate tonight for your Lumberjacks is Cross Yarborough, and Cross has been one of the best catchers at throwing runners out on the base paths. On the season, he has 7 runners caught stealing. Ben Garber now batting for the Turks. Rodriguez misses low. Garber from the University of Rochester. Just been able to reach base at a high rate, 5 walks, 3 hit by pitches. If he can cut down the strikeouts, he'll be a very good bat for this Harrisonburg lineup. 1-0 from Rodriguez, swinging a miss at a fastball at the top of the zone. Mention those strikeouts, Garber 14 of them. He's got some decent power on that bat, a double and a triple. Great speed as well, 7 stolen bases, only caught 1 time. 1-1 from Rodriguez. Fouled right into the Harrisonburg dugout. I don't think it got anybody, but beware. That one was yanked right through the opening. Just like that, it's 1-2 to Garber. Rodriguez looking to add his second strikeout of the ball game. Here he comes, the 1-2. Did Garber go? Yes, he did. Home plate umpire says he went too far, and it's 2 quick outs here in the top of the second inning. Garcia bats with 2 outs in the top of the second inning, but it's to note, Covington's had some struggles with 2 outs here in home games. 2 games ago against Strasburg lit them on fire with 2 outs. And today, Rodriguez, through his first inning of work with 2 outs, gave up a solo shot. Philip Garcia has an idea to do that as they lines that one into the parking lot on the right side of the field. A first pitch strike from Rodriguez. Garcia plays college ball at Gulf Coast State. He prepares for Rodriguez's 0-1. From the windup, here he comes. An off speed that checked up before the plate. 1 ball, 1 strike. Rodriguez finding the strike zone early and often so far in this ball game. He's only thrown 3 balls. Ultra aggressive on the mound. He's got an ultra aggressive mentality. He believes in his stuff, and so far today, besides 1 swing, it's looked pretty good. Yarborough gives him the pitches. He shakes off a few, and now here's the 1-1. Grounded up the middle, out of the reach of Brian Zayas, and a single with 2 outs for Philip Garcia. So far for the Turks, they have 2 hits, both of which have came with 2 outs. Mason Greenhouse looking to keep things rolling for the Turks with 2 outs. Greenhouse on the season is 10 for 39, a .256 batting average. 3 walks, 15 strikeouts. Rodriguez taking a look at first base, a slider that misses away. Ball 1. Garcia at first has 3 stolen bases. And to note, this is Rodriguez's first time having to pitch from the stretch today. Here's the 1-0. An off-speed that gets away from Yarborough. It'll be a wild pitch that allows Garcia to take second. Obviously, Rodriguez doesn't really have to worry about that runner on base, but let's hope he has it in the back of his head. Has to make the switch to the stretch now, but the goal stays the same. Even if Garcia swipes third, it's not too big of a deal as long as he can get the batter out at the plate. Here's the 2-0 to Greenhouse. He swings and flies one into right field. Darius Brown, a few steps back, he rounds it and makes the catch for out number 3. We head to the bottom of the second inning. We're all knotted up, one apiece. Mason Reed leads off the bottom of the second inning for your Lumberjacks. Reed and BP today, had an impressive task, and that was breaking a bomb bat. I have it sitting right here next to me. The handle completely snapped off of the bat, but the reason that's an impressive task, these bats, spelled B-A-U-M, are supposed to be somewhat indestructible. It's a little bit different when you're hitting off the machine. Lynn's first pitch to Reed is a slider that misses up. Yeah, a bomb bat is the go-to for many of the guys, and it's simply because it's a very risky decision to purchase a bat that's not something that's composite. 1-0 pitch from Lynn's to Reed is floated into right center field. Coming in on it is the right fielder Garber. He can't make the grab, and that'll be a single for Mason Reed. Mason Reed breaking bats in batting practice, finds his way on with a clean swing. And for another inning, Carter Lentz has led on the leadoff batter. Brian Zayas now in the batter's box. First pitch to Zayas is even higher in the air in the right center field. Garber is there. Zayas flies out to right field, and that'll bring up Frankie Clark back to the top of the order for your Lumberjacks. Back to the bomb bats, you can see that Clark's using it. And it's one of the things that I'm actually interested to know. Obviously, it's difficult for pitchers having to face the aluminum bats, but you take a look at bats like this, and man, they really take the juice out of swings. As Lindsay Zoota, Clark is inside for ball one. On the inside of the bat, there's some string to attach the wood to concrete. Concrete is on the inside of the bomb bat, so what Frankie Clark's swinging, it's not only wood, but you have concrete on the inside. Lindsay's 1-0 is also inside as Frankie Clark now has a 2-0 count. Clark first time up saw 3 straight balls, then 2 straight strikes, and after that a single. Lindsay's pitch count already mounting as Lumberjacks battling early here. Lindsay's 2-0 delivery is taken for strike one. But back to the whole bat thing. It's difficult to go out and purchase your own bat knowing that it might break, so teams buy bomb bats in bulk, or they'll get a single bomb bat and say this is the one that you can use, and usually they can last a decent while, but it's different off the machine. 2-1 to Clark is straight up into left center field, ranging back as O'Brien coming in as the center fielder. Greenhouse, he's there. 2 down in the bottom of the second inning. Carter Lentz has created 3 swings this inning. All 3 of them have resulted in high fly balls into the outfield. Mason Reed Found the only green grass there that wasn't covered by an outfielder. That's why he's on first base. Let's see if Chris Carroll can play his type of baseball, get on the top of the baseball, and continue to keep it going for the Lumberjacks. Oh, from Lenz is yanked away. Ball 1. Mason Reed at first base, stolen twice so far this season. With 2 outs, I don't really think you want to take the bat out of the hands of a guy who's batting .366. Check on Reed at first base. He's back in plenty of time. The way that Brody Dalton's holding him, Dalton's really got to receive it low or else it's going to be a tough tag. He's not really holding the bag, but rather holding the cutoff of the grass. And with how tall he is, the target's a lot larger. But you really got to be fine on those pickoff throws. Carroll looks at a ball in the dirt, and it's 2-0. Lenz through 2 innings is racking up the pitches. This would be quick compared to what he did in the first inning, but he's up to 44 now. Let's see if Carroll's thinking about going on something 2-0. He will not, as this one misses up in the zone, and another opportunity for a Covington bat to walk here. Lenz effectively wild, I might say. He has surrendered a run, but when he's been in the zone, it's been tough to hit. Lenz 3-0 is called strike. Chris Carroll doesn't show much emotion, but maybe in the dugout you could have heard some woes, as that one he seemed to be around head level of Chris Carroll. Carroll maybe around 5'6", 5'7". That's a very high strike to him. Lenz's 3-1 is in the dirt. Chris Carroll's worked a walk. Bring up Cross Yarborough. Yarborough walked his first time up, made it all the way to third base after stealing third. He was stranded there. Lumberjacks had an opportunity with bases loaded and only 1 out. Didn't manage to score any of the guys who were on. Yarborough looking to change that here with runners at first and second. Swings at this one, and it'll drop into center field. Greenhouse has to play it on the choppy grass. He'll fire to home plate, but Mason Reed is there in plenty of time. Cross Yarborough, an RBI single, and Lumberjacks lead 2-1. I'm sure if you ask Cross about that swing, he'd tell you that it wasn't his best. But he manages to get back to baseball and find some grass in center field. Chris Carroll at second, Cross Yarborough at first, and Darius Brown sees Lenz for the second time. Brown singled through the 5-6 hole his first time up. Takes one inside there. Some action in the Harrisonburg bullpen as Lenz is continuously seeing that count rise. It's to note that coming into this ballgame, he had only gone 1 1/3, his first start of the season. Here's the 1-0 to Brown. He takes one down the middle for strike 1. Darius is a guy that has plenty of power, but he's also managed to sneak a few singles in that have just found their way. Either would work here with the speed of Chris Carroll at second base. Darius takes one in the dirt that's blocked well by Spellman. Darius plays his college ball at Maryland Eastern Shore, and I'll tell you, the extent of my knowledge of Maryland Eastern Shore is I have a video game called NBA 2K College Basketball 8. I did a rebuild of Maryland Eastern Shore. That is the extent of my knowledge of Maryland Eastern Shore. Darius representing them well here in the Valley Baseball League as Chris Carroll takes off for third base. Spellman doesn't get a good glove. That'll be a stolen base for Carroll, and Cross Yarborough, second of the day. 20 on the season for Chris Carroll. Wheels for Mr. Breezy. Now a prime opportunity for Darius Brown. Runners at second and third. He has to battle as Lenz has him in a 2-strike count. Mullins gets a sign. Highlight kick, the pitch. Grounded third base side. Garcia picks it up. Throw to first is in time. He hesitated a little bit, but had plenty of time to make the throw. Linz escapes runners at second and third, but not before surrendering another run. The Lumberjacks lead 2-1. Lucas Rodriguez readies for the top of the third inning, looking to keep his Lumberjacks in front. They added another run in the bottom of the second, which gave them a 2-1 lead. Pitches to the bottom of the order to start off the top of the third. It's a first pitch strike to Andrew O'Brien. Lucas Rodriguez has found some opportunities here in Covington as he prepares for an 0-1 pitch to O'Brien. Here it comes, and there for strike two. But Rodriguez was at the University of New Orleans, currently undecided, and he threw a bullpen yesterday, or a couple days ago, for Ferrum. Ferrum, notably the College of Billy Wagner. 0-2, O'Brien checks, and did he go? Yes, he did. Third strikeout for Lucas Rodriguez, who has found his groove. But summer baseball is for everybody in the college world, and that can bring plentiful opportunities. Some guys come in to impress scouts in the majors. Some guys come in to impress their own school, and then others like Rodriguez looking to find opportunities in the college baseball world. Rodriguez impressing Ferrum scouts. And if he continues pitching like he is today, I'm sure he'll keep getting a few smiles in the crowd. First pitch off speed to Bennett Gary. Gary's second time batting, first time up. It was a 4-3 ground out to Frankie Clark. First pitch was a strike, as Rodriguez has been everywhere but outside of the strike zone today. Plenty of strikes as the changeup misses away there. Gary, for a guy that reaches base as much as he does, has only one stolen base on the season, so I believe this is a guy that you really want to get in the zone against as the off-speed misses up from Rodriguez. Gary is the leadoff hitter for one reason for this Turks team, and that's because he walks. 14 walks on the season for Bennett. I mentioned it earlier when he got into two-strike count against Rodriguez that he'd only struck it out once. That stays the same as he put that two-strike pitch in play. Rodriguez looking to even the count here as the changeup misses outside. Maybe Rodriguez has his timing turned off a little bit as when he stepped on the mound to face Gary, he was told to step off and that he needed to make eye contact, continuing to try to find his rhythm. Here comes the 3-1. A slider lifted into center field. Coming in is Chris Carroll. He sits under it for out number 2. Rodriguez showing off that slider that was working so well against Culpepper. Really doing a great job on getting it into the inner third. Gary was a slight bit late. He flew it into center field for the second out of the inning. Rodriguez gets a check swing. Grounder to the third baseman, Mason Reed, out of the bat of Andy Perez. And have a 1-pitch out to end the inning. Top of the third over. Covington leads 2-1. Harrisonburg has a defensive change as we kick off the bottom of the third inning with Zach Dorlog leading off against Carter Lenz. Garrett Harper takes over for Philip Garcia. Dorlag swinging right to Garrett Harper, and guess what? When you enter the game, the ball is going to find you. Garrett Harper, an impressive diving stop for out number 1. Garrett Harper introduced himself to the ball game with a solid play over there at third base. Kelvin Pereira trying to introduce himself to the Covington crowd. First time up, he struck out with the bases loaded. First pitch to Pereira is an off-speed for strike. Ball 1. Apparently he missed outside. So, 1 ball, no strikes to Pereira. Lenz trying to find his first quick inning of the ball game. As this one's flown into left center field. Greenhouse giving chase, looking up, and Kelvin Pereira has introduced himself just fine. A solo shot in the left center field, and the Ole Miss catcher from Miami's on the board.
Home run, number 29, Kelvin Pereira.
Kelvin's not a guy that you're going to miss. He's a big body out there. And if you couldn't tell, he's got some strength. 3 innings for the Lumberjacks and 3 runs. Let's see if the Covington guys can put up their first multiple run inning as Thomas Fratto now hits with the bases cleared and 1 out. Lenz misses inside. The 1-0 pitch to Fratto is in the dirt. It's 2-0. Seen Harrisonburg working a guy in the bullpen since the second inning, but you imagine they started Carter Lenz to give him at least 4 or 5 innings. Today, Covington has been tattooing him, and they've also been working counts as well. 2-0 to Fratto's up and in. This game means a lot more than just a win for Covington. If they can keep this up, Harrisonburg has been a thorn in their side all season long, and the wins have not been easy ones to let go either. 3-0 to Fratto, strike one. Last time out, Covington entered the top of the ninth inning, trailing by a run. With 2 outs in the ninth inning, they had 2 guys walk across the plate. Fratto looks at strike 2, and it's a full count. So a 4-3 lead heading into the bottom of the ninth inning. Quinton Wright on the mound, gets 1 out, runner reaches base, and then Brody Dalton takes a fastball around 430 dead center and walks off Harrisonburg. Fratto swings and misses. Out number 2 for Linz in the bottom of the third. That game had plenty of energy in it. And in the Covington dugout, it was an idea of beautiful baseball, an opportunity to walk off the field feeling great about yourselves with a come-from-behind win. Brody Dalton had different plans. So pitch to Mason Reed's up in the zone. But for Covington, if they can continue to establish an attack here against the Harrisonburg pitching, maybe we don't have to worry about late-game heroics from the other side. Linz's 1-0 to Reed is lifted straight back. Connor Spellman looking up, and it's going to be out of play. 1 ball, 1 strike. Before that loss at JMU, the Lumberjacks had played 2 games at home against Harrisonburg. The most recent one was a 15-2 loss. But with the amount of the times that the teams in the South play each other, the interdivisional games, the story between these 2 teams is far from over. And where both of them sit, Covington needs to have an idea of switching spots. Off-speed in there for strike 2 to Reed, and it's 1-2. Harrisonburg currently middle of the pack in the South at 4th place with an 8-10 record. Covington dead last at 5-14. Lenz looking to finish the bottom of the 3rd inning. He gets a ground ball that gets over the glove of Garrett Harper. A single for Mason Reed. 2 singles and 2 ABs for Mason. An opportunity for Bryde Zayas to keep it going with 2 outs in the bottom of the 3rd inning. Harrisonburg has had their opportunities to reach 500, and honestly, that might be more frustrating than what Covington has had going on. Covington, of course, back and forth all season long after their long losing streak. But if you're Harrisonburg, you go into yesterday's ball game against Charlottesville thinking that you're going to be able to finally reach that 500 spot. As Zayas is going to put one down, it's going to go right back to the pitcher, Linz, who makes a strong throw to first. That'll do it for the bottom of the 3rd inning, but Kelvin Pereira, a solo shot to increase the Jacks' lead. It's 3-1, Covington. Elijah Gulliams leads off the top of the 4th inning for the Turks, and Gulliams was the guy. We talked about Brody Dalton's walk-off home run at JMU, but Gulliams was 3 for 5 with 3 RBIs. First pitch he sees from Rodriguez in the top of the fourth is line foul. Williams continued his hot hitting against the Lumberjacks with a home run with 2 outs in the top of the first. On the season, he's got his batting average now above 400. 1 to Williams is a slider for strike 2. Rodriguez now looking for his 4th strikeout of the ball game. He's got to be careful as Williams took him yard. No 2 count in the top of the first. Here comes Rodriguez. The pitch away. Couldn't get that changeup in the zone. Williams great with a bat in his hands. He's only striking out 3 times. 1-2 from Rodriguez creates a swing that's through the 4-3 hole. Elijah Williams continues to hit well against the Lumberjacks. A single to lead off the top of the 4th. Just like that, with a 2-run lead, you're feeling a little bit skittish as Brody Dalton steps in the batter's box. Dalton truly embodies being a mountain man. I mean, he's large, he's got the beard. Played his first innings of college ball at West Virginia. He's now at Kent State. But man, does he have pop. 6 home runs on the season, 4 of them against the Lumberjacks. Rodriguez is 0-0, a swing and a miss. Changeup had Dalton out in front. I had a conversation with the guys about this earlier today, and I had suggested throwing all off speeds to Dalton. It seems at any time that a Lumberjacks pitcher had missed over the plate with a fastball, Dalton has done damage. Another changeup from Rodriguez, and it snowballs 2 strikes. Dalton has not faced Rodriguez. This is Rodriguez's first time facing the Harrisonburg Turks. Looks to put Dalton down on strikes. The 0-2 is fouled left field side. Mason Reed giving chase, sliding, and unable to find the baseball. First time up, Brody Dalton struck out. Wonder if Rodriguez can find another strikeout against the big lefty from Kent State. I had a creative writing class at Virginia Tech where somebody wrote about a mountain man. I never had the vision of a mountain man in my head until I saw Brody Dalton. Now I have a feeling that I know what a mountain man looks like. Rodriguez is 0-2 to Dalton, is fouled off towards the Covington dugout, where Dalton will now continue to battle, and an 0-2 count. But first is Williams. Williams does have a stolen base on the season, but it was a surprise stolen base in the bottom of the 8th inning against the Lumberjacks. Rodriguez is 0-2, a swing and a miss from Dalton. That changeup working really well for Lucas. And out number 1 here at the top of the 4th inning. 4 strikeouts for Rodriguez, all 4 of them swinging. Connor Spellman led off the top of the 2nd inning. He has a chance to bat now with Williams on first base. Williams saw 1 pitch his first time out. He flew out to right field. Rodriguez's 0-0 is possibly a similar result. Flies it again to right field where Darius Brown is in and there. Connor Spellman's seen 2 pitches, and both times he's flown out to Brown. 2 down in the top of the 4th inning. Last chance now for the Turks is Garrett Harper, so I apologize about the confusion on the substitution. It seems that Ben Garber's out of this ball game. Garrett Harper replaces him, and then, well, we'll get that all sorted out on the defensive end of things, but right now it's Garrett Harper batting for Ben Garber. Takes the first pitch fastball for strike 1. No balls, 1 strike to Harper, who's now in at third base for the Turks, taking his first debut of the ball game. A fastball upstairs. I imagine that Harper entered the game for Garber. Garcia might have moved somewhere in the outfield, allowing Garrett Harper to move to third base. 1 ball, 1 strike to Harper. Rodriguez's pitch is a slider. Williams going to try to sneak a stolen base. Yarborough's going to throw him out. Heady catching from Cross Yarborough. 8th runner caught stealing by Cross. And the 3rd out of the top of the 4th inning. Head to the bottom half. Your Lumberjacks lead 3-1. So confusion is settled here in the press box. The confusion initially was we thought Garrett Harper came in for the third baseman straight up, Philip Garcia, but Garcia snuck his way into the outfield without us noticing. So it's Harper for Ben Garber. Garber out of this ball game, who was playing in right. Garcia was at third. He moves to right field. And now Garrett Harper at third base.
Leading off the Jacks, the foul at the fourth. Number 37, Frankie Clark.
Frankie Clark now batting. I've had a funny interaction with Frankie before the ball game. I told him, Frankie, whatever happens today, it's because of me. We played some pool earlier today, and Frankie beat me like 8 times. So I said, Frankie, if you keep staying hot, it's because you got your momentum from pool. As he takes a first pitch strike from Lenz. And if you have a tough day at the plate, it's because you were too confident, because you were beating me so much. He's had a good day today. He's already scored a run. No ball, 1 strike pitch from Lenz, and it's lined into left field. Frankie Clark continues to hit the cover off of the baseball. Through 4 innings, Frankie's 2 for 3. Safe to say that those reps in pool have only helped his mentality at the plate. Single for Frankie Clark, and now Chris Carroll steps in the batter's box for the Lumberjacks. Chris is 0 for 1. He flew out in his first AB, walked second time up. Frankie did not end up stealing a bag as he was walked. And here he goes as Chris Carroll swings and fouls one back. I meant to say that Frankie reached his first time. He was very patient at the bag, didn't take off until finally, on a full count pitch across Yarborough, he was up and running, but the pitch missed up in the zone. Would have been a stolen base because it was a walk across Yarborough. Chris gets a sign from the third base coach, Coach Z, as Lenz comes ready from the set. Clark probably not interested in going this time. Pitch from Lenz is grounded foul towards the Harrisonburg dugout. It's 0-2. Carroll, after stealing third in the bottom of the second inning, has 20 stolen bases on the season. Covington leads the league in stolen bases. Next step in finding those wins is scoring the guys who steal the bases. 0-2 pitch to Carroll. Lined into left center field. Greenhouse cannot get there. A single for Chris Carroll, and it gets past the glove of Greenhouse. Frankie Clark's going to be held up at third base. Chris Carroll is into second with a single that'll probably have an error attached to it.
Number 41, Cross, Yarborough.
Time called for the Turks is with no outs. There's runners at second and third, and I wonder if that'll do it for Carter Lenz. And motion in the Harrisonburg bullpen depicts that Carter Lenz's day is done. Covington has had the bats going today. We'll take a quick break, and when we return, we'll talk about the new arm for Harrisonburg. 3-1 the score here in the bottom of the fourth inning as Zane Starling enters for Carter Linds. And this is the pitcher that has plenty of history with this Covington team. His last outing was against the Lumberjacks where he got the win, but it was after blowing a save. And 2 1/3 innings, Starling gave up 2 runs. Starling labored through the latter half of that ball game, but he did enough to prevent Covington from making that game out of reach. Now he's trying to keep the game in reach early on as Cross Yarborough bats with 2 runners on. This one's grounded up the middle. Cross Yarborough has an RBI single that'll probably have 2 runs attached to it. Greenhouse comes up throwing. It's offline, and Chris Carroll scores along with Frankie Clark. It's 5-1 Lumberjacks. Another day where Cross Yarborough has been red hot. He's 2 for 2 with a walk. He stands at first base as his Lumberjacks lead 5-1. Darius Brown will bat with Yarborough at first base. Starling's first pitch to Brown is lifted into left field. Giving chase has been a Gary. This one will get down. A bounce into the wall. Cross Yarborough running for third base. The throw is into Harper, but off the bag. It's a double for Darius Brown, and it's second and third again for the Lumberjacks. Zach Dorlag looking to keep the momentum going for the Lumberjacks. Dorlag on the day is 0 for 1 with a walk. Great speed at second base in Darius Brown. And Yarborough, a very smart runner over there at third base. Corners in for the Turks. Looking to surrender a run for a ground out if needed. First pitch to Dorlag is a slider taken away. Starling had electric stuff through about his first 2 innings against the Jacks. But when he reached the 9th inning, he was laboring, and the velocity had turned down a bit as Dorlag fouls one straight back into the iron fence. 1-1. Starling plays his college ball at the University of Louisiana Monroe. That's Sunbelt baseball. Very high prestige. Looks to get Dorlag out for the first out of the bottom of the fourth as Dorlag's late and fouls that one. Into the right side fencing, it's 1-2. Dorlag on the season has 4 RBIs, which is pretty impressive considering he only has 3 hits. If he makes it 4, the RBI total will increase as well. Starling looking for the first out here in the bottom of the fourth. The pitch is strike 3. Dorlag couldn't get the bat off his shoulders, and it's 1 down in the bottom of the fourth. But Kelvin Pereira now has another chance to show Covington fans who he is. Came into his at-bat in the bottom of the third, 0 for 6 in a Lumberjacks uniform, and then he launched one into left center field that was a no-doubter. Greenhouse out in center gave a few steps, and he decided to stop chasing it pretty quickly. Let's see if Pereira can do it again. First pitch from Starling is a fastball that misses up. Pereira is the only guy on this Lumberjacks team that did not play in that game in Harrisonburg. He made his Covington debut yesterday in Purcellville. Linds's 1-0 is a slider that forces a swing and a miss from Pereira. Any insurance is important as Covington does have the second worst ERA in the league at 6.88, and this is a Harrisonburg team that has some of the best run production. Pereira looks at it off speed inside. It's 2-1. I'm sure that Pereira is hunting fastball. It's the pitch that he took to dead center against Carter Linds. Starling readies a 2-1 pitch that he fires in for strike 2. 91 miles per hour. Pereira couldn't launch. He'll have to here in a 2-2 count. Third base, it's Cross Yarborough. At second, it's Darius Brown. A couple of quick swings from both of those guys has made this multiple runs in the bottom of the fourth. Pereira looking to add on as Starling comes with a 2-2 pitch that Pereira manages to lay off. Full count for the catcher from Ole Miss. Big spot here for Zane Starling. If he can leave both these runners stranded, I'm sure Harrisonburg would be feeling pretty good after this inning. Full count pitch to Pereira. Swing and a miss. Second strikeout of the ball game for Pereira. Second out of the inning. Both strikeouts for Zane Starling. And it comes down to Thomas Fratto. Fratto currently 0 for 2 with a flat and strikeout. Just got to stay on time against Starling and find a way to get one down. Starling went on, has shown electric stuff against the Lumberjacks. First pitch, this is inside at 91. Lumberjacks feeling pretty confident about Lucas Rodriguez, is currently in the Covington bullpen, no movement. Sure, the Lumberjacks starter would love any extra insurance he can get. Fratto swings and misses on the 1-0 off speed. It's 1-1. Starling has 14 strikeouts so far this season. You add the 2, he's up to 16. Going to make it 17 here as he misses up to Fratto. The way that Starling's throwing right now, it seems that that's the only thing that he's interested in. When the ball's been hit, it's been hit hard. But he's also created plenty of swing and miss. 2-1 to Fratto. Gets a check swing there from Fratto. He couldn't hold up, and it's 2-2. I think right there, Fratto was guessing fastball and thought he had got one to take it to the laser tag section of the ballpark. Instead, it was a changeup that he was out in front of. So just like that, 2's all over the place. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs, 2 runners on for the Lumberjacks. The 2-2 pitch is foul tipped by Fratto. Does a good job to stay alive. Cross Yarborough will easily score on anything besides an infield single, and Darius Brown, if Yarborough's scoring, I imagine Brown's going to be scoring too. Lumberjacks have put up a run in the first, a run in the second, and 2 runs here in the bottom of the fourth. You add the run in the bottom of the third inning. It's 5-1 Lumberjacks. Harrisonburg struck with a solo shot in the top of the first, but Lucas Rodriguez has silenced their bats since then. Might be a little bit easier for him to continue to silence them if Covington can add a few more. Fratto has the opportunity to do that. The 2-2 from Starling is a swing and a miss. Starling strikes out 3 batters, but after allowing 2 runs to score. Head to the top of the 5th inning, your Lumberjacks lead 5-1. Garrett Harper going to lead off the top of the 5th inning for the Turks. He was in the batter's box last inning when Elijah Williams got caught stealing, trying to delay steal second base. Harper taking his first at bat here as he replaces Ben Garber.
Leading off for Harrisonburg, number 30, Garrett Harper.
Rodriguez looking to continue to glide through. His first pitch to Harper misses low. So far today, only 1 run given up on 3 hits to the Turks. That 1 home run from Elijah Williams is the lone run. Rodriguez's 1-0 to Harper. It's a fastball that forces a swing and a miss. I have a fun little segment here. There's this guy that goes to Indiana. I can't remember his name, but what he does, and it's pretty cool stuff. He finds players' stats and he looks up their zip code based off the stat. I'm not going to do that. Instead, I'm going to do something that's a lot easier for me because who likes numbers? Baseball Reference is a page that really has all the baseball data ever. Is the 1-1 pitch from Rodriguez, another swing and a miss. Harper way behind that heater, and it's 1-2. But if you go in the search bar of Baseball Reference and you type in random, you get a random player, team, game, whatever. And going off of that, we're going to talk a little bit about Tom Murphy. He's the random item, I guess you could call it, of tonight. 1-2 pitch from Rodriguez, an off-speed that misses away. Obviously, Tom Murphy's a player, not an item, but sometimes you're going to get some items like a team or a game. Tom Murphy is a catcher who has not played in the league since 2024. Tom Murphy, very good platoon bat. Right-handed catcher that hits very well against lefties. Rodriguez sees a fastball skip over the glove of Cross Yarborough from 1-2 to 3-2. Most notably, Murphy posted a 2.5 WAR in 2019. Hit 18 home runs for Seattle. Most of those coming against the left-handed variety. On his career, played in 945 at-bats. Full count pitch is a slider that catches the outer edge. No, they're going to say it did not catch the outer edge. The home plate umpire looked like he was going to come up gunning. Instead, it's a walk for Garrett Harper. So now Philip Garcia has an opportunity to bat with a runner on base. Elijah Williams was the first leadoff man to reach last inning for the Turks, but he ended up getting gunned down stealing. So I wonder if Rodriguez can continue to make both the batter and runners uncomfortable. He's going to do that instantly, throwing over to first base, keeping Garrett Harper in check. Tom Murphy in his career played for 3 different teams. First he was a Rocky, then a Mariner, then a Giant. As another edge caught there from Rodriguez. It's 0-2 to Garcia. It's 0-1 to Garcia, as that was the first pitch of the at-bat. Tom Murphy from West Monroe, New York. Very talented ball player in his career. Rodriguez, also very talented as he forces a foul ball off of the bat of Garcia. It's 0-2. Baseball Reference is a baseball broadcaster, baseball nerd, baseball fan, baseball player's dream of a website. Think of absolutely anything, it's on there. Researching in Covington's last home game against Charlottesville, I was curious about Randy Tomlin as Rodriguez picks off over at first base. Tomlin, of course, the head man for the Tom Sox, and many of the people in baseball know Randy Tomlin as a great pitcher. Many of the people know the stops that he's taken as a coach, but found out that Tomlin had created the Volcan change from Baseball Reference. Rodriguez's 0-2 is grounded up the middle. Brian Zayas feels it up. It's going to bounce off the body of Zayas, and Clark throws to first. It's a double play off the body of Zayas into the glove of Clark and the first baseman, Fratto. That's still a 6-4-3 for 2 outs in the top of the 5th inning. It's funny, Waynesboro's at 14-5, and with how Waynesboro started the season, they were red hot, and I heard that one of the reasons they were playing so good is because the ball had just found a way to bounce every possible right way for them. There's proof that that's something that can really happen. The ball bounces off of Brian Zayas into the glove of Frankie Clark, who can field and throw to first for the 6-4-3 double play. 1-0 count to Mason Greenhouse, who now hits with 2 outs in the top of the 5th inning. Greenhouse, first time up in a 2-0 count, and runner at second base was swinging, and he flew out to right field. Greenhouse is a very free swinger. He's striking out 15 times on the season. You can see in his swing, he's got a lot of whip to it. If he manages to get barrel to ball, it could go a long way. 1 ball, 1 strike to Greenhouse. Rodriguez has been great so far today. It's 1-1 pitch. It's a fastball and a swing and a miss. It's 1-2. A couple of guys throwing the football out there in the bullpen, but it looks like if Rodriguez pitches through the top of the 5th cleanly, he might have a 6th inning of work ahead of him. For now, it's a 1-2 count to Mason Greenhouse. Rodriguez comes set. Yarborough gives him the sign. Here's the pitch. It's fouled out of play. We'll stay at 1-2. That was 91 from Rodriguez. This is a guy who's extra animated, extra pumped up. And I'm sure knowing at this point of the ball game that he might only have an inning or 2 left. Every out really matters. He's bringing it. 1 with his facial expressions and 2 with his velocity. Last pitch was at 91. Greenhouse going to be prepared for something fast. Let's see if Rodriguez goes right back at him with it or if he comes with something soft. Rodriguez set. Here's the pitch. A swing and a miss. A slider that has Greenhouse out in front. 5th strikeout of the ballgame for Rodriguez. Head to the bottom of the 5th inning. Your Lumberjacks lead 5-1. Bottom of the 5th inning, Mason Reed leads off for your Lumberjacks. Reed on the day, 2 for 2. He bats as your Lumberjacks lead 5-1. Zane Starling still on the mound for the Turks. Starling ready for the set. Here's the pitch. Reed's going to show bunt as a slider nearly catches him up and in, 1-0. I feel like I didn't do justice for our Baseball Reference random showcase, and I'm going to continue talking about Tom Murphy. Really got to give details because that's what Baseball Reference gives us. Tom Murphy played his college ball at the University of Buffalo, most notably the school of Khalil Mack, is the 1-0 to Reed as an off-speed taken low. Murphy's nickname Murph, or Stashu, made his debut on September 12th, 2015. It was the 20,962nd ever major leaguer. 2-0 to Reed as he shows again, and this one misses way up. Maybe in ahead of Starling, showing bunt. 3 balls, no strikes to Reed. So Murphy had 49 home runs in his career. He had an 18 home run season. As Mason Reed walks to start off the bottom of the 5th inning. Brian Zayas now bats with Mason Reed at first base. Zayas going to show as he takes a fastball up and in. Brian Zayas and Zane Starling, I'll simply put it, are not friends. They've had some conversations the last 2 times these teams have played, and Zayas actually was on the front foot of that, walking with the bases loaded against Starling. Starling looking to find the zone here as his 1-0 is in for a strike, 1-1. Zayas still showing bunt. See over there at third base, Philip Garcia is well-handed. Now you see Philip Garcia at third base instead of Garrett Harper. Wonder if Garrett Harper's out there right now. Low pitch to Zayas, a swing and a miss. 1-0, excuse me. It's now 1-2 to Zayas. Zayas looking to get Mason Reed over at least. Starling for his 4th strikeout. He'll get it. Fastball catches the outer edge. Starling's allowed a couple of runners to reach, but when he's found the zone, it's been pretty difficult. All 4 outs for Zane Starling are strikeouts as Frankie Clark comes back up. Mason Reed at first. Clark swings with, well, bottom of the 5th inning. Check on Mason Reed at first. And this is where I think the magic's really done on Baseball Reference. We're going to continue with that a little bit. They have a page called BR Bullpen attached to it, to where they really have all the information you could want to know about a player. Have to check on Reed at first. Murphy had his first multi-homer game of his career on September 17th, 2016 as a Rocky. Game where they shut out the Padres 8-0. Starling's 0 to Clark. It's a fastball that catches the outer edge. Game they won 8-0. He homered twice and drove in 5 runs, while also catching a complete game shutout where John Gray set a new franchise record for the Rockies with 16 Ks. So he caught 16 strikeouts and also added 2 home runs. That one misses up in the zone to Clark. It's 1 ball, 1 strike. Talked about his 2019 season, where he had 18 home runs. The pandemic hit, he had a broken foot and didn't return until 2021. 1-1 pitch to Clark as Reed takes off. Clark's going to foul it back. Reed's going to have to head back to first base. Murphy had a electric start to 2022 with a 164 OPS plus. That means he was 64% better than the average hitter. He got hurt, and then Cal Raleigh took over, and it's been Cal's spot since then. Swing and a miss from Frankie Clark. Zane Starling has struck out 5 Lumberjacks batters so far in his appearance. So that'll be all about Tom Murphy, but pretty cool stuff, not only from the left side from Tom Murphy, a very good player in his career. And I'm sure that there's plenty of people in all these VBL organizations trying to find their way just like Tom Murphy did. Chris Carroll swings with 2 outs and Mason Reed at first base. It's pretty simple. If you put the ball in play against Starling, you'll have a good shot. But you got to do that. Starling has struck out 5 batters after appearing in the 4th inning. Came in with 2 runners on and crossed Yarborough at the plate. Yarborough singled off of him. Darius Brown doubled. He got stranded at 2nd and 3rd as he struck out the side with runners at 2nd and 3rd. He struck out 2 more here in the 5th. Chris Carroll looks at a fastball away for strike 1 to Carroll. Mason Reed was thinking about running with Frankie Clark at the plate, but I don't think he's all that interested now with Carroll up and 2 outs. Another check on Reed at first. Harrisonburg has nobody else up and warming in their bullpen, so the reason Starling is in, the guy with electric stuff, is to keep this ball game where it's at. Carroll shows bunt. They're going to say he went. And some discussion from the home plate umpire to the first base dugout. The only problem I have with that is, why are you making that call yourself? You have a first base umpire lined up to make that call, and instead, for some reason, you feel that that's the call you need to make when it's literally not. So what should be a 1-1 count to Chris Carroll is now an 0-2 count. Shane Starling looking for 6 Ks. Mason Reed off and running. Throw down from Spellman is not in time. A fantastic slide for Mason Reed. He swipes second base. Now Chris Carroll hits with the runner in scoring position. I can tell you, folks, that the head man in the first base dugout, Rennie Tolentino, is already kind of fed up with this umpire crew. The last time that these two teams faced off, there was a couple of caught stealing calls that Rennie ended up getting thrown out earlier. In that game on the 1-2 pitch to Carroll. Lifts it into left center field. So it hit pretty well. Greenhouse giving chase. He'll make the play. That'll do it for the bottom of the 5th inning. Head to the top of the 6th. Your Lumberjacks still lead 5-1. Andrew O'Brien looking to get the Turks bats going to lead off the top of the 6th. Lucas Rodriguez looking to continue to shut them down. A little pitch to O'Brien, a swing and a miss. Rodriguez finding the zone with that fastball and creating plenty of swing and misses tonight. Last time out for Rodriguez, he went 5 innings of 5 strikeouts, 1-run baseball. Today, similar through 5 with 5 strikeouts and only 1 run. He's got an 0-2 count to O'Brien as he looks to continue to up the inning count, but keep the runs low. 1-2 to the shortstop from Shepard. The pitch. Foul out, back out of play. Rodriguez mixing his looks a lot today. Haven't really seen many batters get the same pitches over and over. He's shown a lot of fastballs to O'Brien. This 0-2 is the slider that's grounded his eyes at short. Stays back on it. Throw to first is in time. O'Brien seemed that he might have had an extra step in there to possibly beat that out. Size gets a throw to first in time and 1 out here in the top of the 6th. Rodriguez showing off for the Ferrum scouts in attendance. Needs 2 outs to make it through 6 innings of only 1-run baseball, and he's pitching with a pretty decent lead as well. And Gary's 0 for 2 today. He sees the fastball up. Rodriguez has done exactly what he needs to against Gary, which is throw strikes. Gary loves to walk, but his batting average is somewhat low, as as it's now 2-0 to Gary. Gary could be described as a pesky hitter.
Hey, Coach, how close is our gun to yours?
265 batting average.
Good.
His on-base percentage coming into this game was .490. Rodriguez looking to find the zone. It's 2-0. Talking to himself on the mound. He's a very animated guy who can't get one over there. It's 3-0 to Gary. I feel like that's been a strike to righties. Lefties, it's a little bit different. 3 balls, no strikes. Rodriguez's pitch is away. And Gary works his 15th walk of the season. I feel like for Rodriguez, he might have a decently sized leash, although Coach Tolentino going to take some steps to the mound. I don't think Rodriguez is going to allow Coach Tolentino to take him off the mound. If he does, he might have to carry him. And it's just going to be a conversation between catcher, pitcher, and coach. Andy Perez will bat, and it's a big one. For Rodriguez, if you can find it out here, maybe you can even think about going 7. But if you do what you just did against Gary, then it might be a little bit more tough. It's all about throwing strikes for Rodriguez. Only one powerful swing on the day for the Turks. Of course, it was a solo shot, but limiting that type of power to a team who's been so powerful is important. And more importantly, with Gulliams and Dalton looming in the on-deck in the 3-hole, got to get the guys now. Rodriguez checks on Gary at first, and it's thrown away. This one's going to end up out of play. That's only one base. So Gary gets to second on an error by the pitcher. It's a big error now. No risk of the double play. Harrisonburg grounded it to their 15th earlier this ball game. I'm sure Rodriguez was planning to create that result again as he misses up in the zone to Perez. Ball, no strikes to Perez, who's grounded out twice today. I'd love to see him pull something and prevent Gary from going to third base, but again, a miss from Rodriguez, and it's 2-0. And very quickly up and warming in the Covington bullpen is Quindon Wright. Two balls, no strikes to Perez. Rodriguez finds the strike zone. 87 in there. It's 2-1. Rodriguez's 2-1 pitch. Misses low. Three and 1. Rodriguez trying to loosen up that arm a little bit. Not surprised that he's fatigued. He's seen his farthest outing in 5 innings. He's surpassed that with 5 1/3, but I'm sure he wants it to be 6. Big 3-1 pitch here to Perez. It's a fastball that's hitting to center field. Ranging back is Chris Carroll right in front of the wall. He'll make the catch. Gary's going to tag, and he'll be there in plenty of time. But a big second out of the inning as Andy Perez is the second out of the inning. Just like that, it's Elijah Gulliams versus Lucas Rodriguez for the 3rd time today. Gulliams is the only man in the order who's reached both times against Rodriguez, and if you could see the smile on his face like I can, he wants this batter. Rodriguez readies. Zoa to Gulliams. Fastball misses up and away. This is where Rodriguez needs to contain it. Sometimes if you get over-animated, you get overexcited, you start forcing your body to do things that it simply can't. Rodriguez, if he lives in the strike zone, has been very good today. 1-0 to Gulliams. This is a fastball that catches the outer edge. Add on to that, Gulliams when he had a great game against the Lumberjacks, he was very animated on the base paths. Rodriguez looking to change that as this one is inside. Gulliam's underneath it into right field. On the right field line, Darius Brown makes the play as Lucas Rodriguez and Gulliam's getting into it on the first base side. Rodriguez very hyped up. Gulliams doesn't like what he's saying, but if you look simply at the game, it's an out for Rodriguez. It ends the 6th inning. Then to the bottom of the 6th, your Lumberjacks lead 5-1. Cross Yarborough leads off here against Palmer Edwards, the new arm for the Turks. Zane Starling's day is over. Starling goes 2 innings, gives up 2 hits, but he strikes out 5 batters. The count to Yarborough, who Takes the first pitch away, second pitch away. It's 2-0 now to Yarborough. Edwards on the season has gone 8 1/3 innings. He's pitched to a 4.32 ERA. Batters not having much luck against him, batting a mere 133. 2-0 to Yarborough. It's 3-0. If anybody just missed the fiasco we had here at the ballpark. So when the inning ended, Rodriguez, I guess you could say per usual for guys who know that their last out has been thrown, he got a little extra animated, but he got into the grill of Gulliams, and when you do that, it's kind of known as an ejection. Yarborough's going to show bunt here on 3-0, and he's going to earn a walk. 4-pitch walk to cross Yarborough. Let's lead off the bottom of the 6th. But because of that, Rodriguez got tossed, and if you know Lucas Rodriguez, he's not a guy that's going to go down without saying a couple extra words, and that was so bad that Coach Tolentino had to take him to the locker room himself. So an interesting moment here at Casey Field, but for the Lumberjacks, it's maybe the excitement they needed is they're playing behind Rodriguez today with a 5-1 lead. Low couch to Darius. It's the first strike for Palmer Edwards. It's 0-1. Cross Yarborough at first base. Yarborough has already stolen twice today. He was on the back half of a double steal by Chris Carroll, and in the first inning he managed to steal third. Looking to get a running lead there. He does a good job to just force a step off there from Palmer Edwards. Really creeping over there at first, and nobody on the infield really noticing it. But all in, nothing really comes out of it. It's just an 0-1 count. Pitch misses away for Edwards. Now 1 ball on the board as well. This holds. Covington will move to 6-14 on the season. Harrisonburg to 8-11. Will be tied with Charlottesville for the 5th place spot as another check at first base. Yarborough's back. But as we stretch deeper into the season and near only a month left of baseball, you got to win these interdivisional games if you want any hopes. And luckily for the Lumberjacks, they've gotten some of those North League games out of the way, which means a lot of opportunities to come back in the race. Pitch misses away, gets Brown, and it's 2-1. Brown on the day is 2 for 3, single and a double. Takes an off-speed away there, and it's 3-1 to Brown. Yarborough, a very smart run over there at first base. Darius Brown, speed in the batter's box, and a powerful bat as well. The 3-1 pitch is fouled off the leg of Brown. It's a full count. Don't be surprised if Cross Yarborough tries to get a head start. Palmer Edwards really hasn't been interested in him. Is the 3-2 from Edwards. There goes Yarborough. It's a pitch that misses away. It's runners at first and second for the Lumberjacks. Yesterday was a tough game for Harrisonburg. They got run ruled. Covington currently a little bit out of range to do that, but still a very good team effort today. And with home game tomorrow against Charlottesville, who was the last team they beat at home, maybe we could see the Lumberjacks string together some home wins to really make a battle out of this. Low pitch to Dorlag is flowing towards the Covington bullpen. Foul. Dorlag, a rough day at the plate. He's 0 for 2 with a walk. He's really just trying to find the timing, and when he does, he'll be very dangerous. Cross Yarborough going to take off for third base. Spellman's going to have no chance at either of the runners. Cross Yarborough has been pretty much perfect on the base pass tonight. He has been incredible. As Yarborough takes third, Darius Brown takes second, and that'll do it for Palmer Edwards. That'll do it for Palmer Edwards. I don't really know what could create the change there. But the head man for the Turks was out of the